Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. So another session with me also, and today I posted a video about crypto, and I'm sure most of you have seen it already. It had a really, it was one of the best videos I think in terms of views, in terms of engagement. So I hope all of you, have watched the video. If you haven't watched it yet, then I think it's time to watch and see what you can, probably if you want to invest in crypto, then probably you can consider investing in crypto. Now remember, I talked about risk specifically. Most of the crypto, people who talk about crypto usually don't talk about risk, but I've talked about the risk, and I've also mentioned you should not be investing more than 5% unless you're really skilled at exiting and entering. So unless you have that skill, don't go more than 5% allocation. That's not really advisable. So otherwise, I think, yeah, thanks for the views. And if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and watch it. And also, there's a very interesting video coming up, in the next couple of days. So also wait for that. It's a Muhurat special. And most of us, buys at least a few stocks on a Muhurat occasion. It's considered very auspicious. So I have a video coming up, especially for that. And also, for beginners, especially if you're really looking for an alternative apart from mutual funds, then that could be a good alternative. That could be a good alternative. Don't forget to watch that video, which will be shared probably tomorrow or day after. So yeah, with that, I think we'll get started. I think today we had a decent day in markets. Nifty kind of went sideways, but there were some very good stock specific actions, and that's why the title was stock specific actions. So I always kept telling in my newsletters, there's always going to be action in a few stocks, and you need to focus on those few stocks. And if you're able to focus on those few stocks, then probably you're going to make some decent money. And that's very important for a positional trader, investor, or whoever it is. Whatever style you have, I think it's always the advice is to focus on strength and to buy those strength. Like we did have two triggers today, J&K Bank and Moroccan Labs. So Moroccan Labs wasn't that great a performer, but definitely J&K Bank, performed well. So let's just look at the charts, and let's look at what we have for today in Nifty and Bank Nifty. Sorry, not Bank Nifty, but definitely Nifty. Okay, so let's look at Nifty first, and we can take it forward from there. So Nifty, kind of had a red day, and it was kind of a flattish day, not really red day, kind of a flattish day. And if you look at the charts in terms of the behavior today, we kind of had a bullish flag, right? Now whether that's a bullish flag or not, we'll get to know tomorrow. If it breaks out, then it's just a bullish flag. If it breaks down, then that's probably a false flag. So if you take a parallel channel, and if you draw here, you can take a parallel channel from here, and you just try connecting that point, and just drag it. And if you put it up there, so that's probably looks like a bullish flag, right? So that's been the story, I think, since the start of today. We had a nice gap up, but that gap up didn't last. Now remember, we spoke about resistance zone yesterday. We spoke about two resistance zones. One is horizontal and one is this one. So if you look at this area, this is the resistance we spoke about yesterday, and Nifty kind of got rejected from that resistance zone. So in case you were trading Nifty today, then that could have been probably a point to short. The moment you saw the first 5 minutes, we had a green candle, and then we kind of started dropping, right? So again, it's not very easy to trade directly like this in intraday session, especially when market is opening. So otherwise, I think it was a good day to sell those calls around 18,000 levels, and probably could have made some decent money. But otherwise, I think the trend is still up. I still don't see a major problem yet. So we're kind of having that trend line support there, and we might probably reverse tomorrow and head higher. But again, the action that I'll be looking for is what is the market doing around that zone, right? So if I connect that point there, I have a nice trend line, and what is the market going to do tomorrow? So tomorrow we're going to open probably a neutral, positive to slightly negative, probably around that zone, or we might have a gap up or a gap down, right? Whatever it is, you need to look for some trading plan, and the plan would be go short if we kind of have a closing below that zone. So 70,870 is the zone you want to look for, and if you close below that, on any 5 minutes candle, probably look for shorting opportunities. And if you are going to close about 19,932, 79.30 levels on any 5 minutes closing basis, then that's probably going to be an opportunity to go long. So these are the two trades that I look for, long side and short side. And yeah, that's probably my Nifty view. But remember, we have to take out this zone. 18,000 levels need to be taken out if you're going to head higher from here. But for now, the markets do look okay. Yeah, there is going to be sell-off because on every rise there are going to be some sell-off because we've had a crazy drop and there are a lot of people stuck, as I always say, and that's going to create some pressure. But I think eventually we'll head higher. Let's see what's in store for this Diwali. So that's the Nifty update from my side, and also holdings. Let's look at our holdings positions, right? So we had two triggers. J&K Bank gave an excellent move, 7%. I did not really expect that. With the kind of drop that it had the other day, that move was really laudable. And otherwise, Blue Star has done really well. We are up 10%. Remember, we have a very good position size in Blue Star, and if Blue Star performs, even if it goes up 30%, we are going to be up 6% on overall portfolio, around 5 to 6% overall. And right now we are around a good 2% up. And I think it'll do well going forward as well. But otherwise, none of the stocks did well today. Yeah, Jubilant Industries did hit upper circuit, and that might continue tomorrow as well. So two stocks performing, and also J&K Bank performing. Three stocks is what is moving our portfolio. Other stocks are kind of flattish. They're not really moving up, down. Even Jubilant Industries net is still, has not given any returns. So I think some stocks from our portfolio. So this is the highest number of holdings we've had. We've had 8 holdings, and I think that's the highest we've had till now. That's because the markets are kind of dicey, and that's why I'm testing multiple positions. And once a couple of positions start moving higher, then I'm going to more focus on those positions, and I'll kind of pyramid them. Now do watch some updates on these stocks that are doing well. I will have some updates for tonight. Don't forget to check the Telegram, and yeah, we'll look at them. So Morapan Labs is doing well. So we had 2 consecutive positive days. So again, I'm looking forward to Morapan. It might perform well once pharma starts performing, and I'm looking for at least targets of 60 here in a quick probably in a week or 2 we can head towards 60. But we need to break out from that level there. So we need to break out to 55, then first target probably looking at 60 levels, and then probably looking at 75 levels as well. So that's still looking good. No pyramiding as of now on Morapan. I'm going to give it some more time before it heads higher. Now J&K Bank, Jammu and Kashmir Bank is close to a resistance, and we kind of attempted to make a new high. Now I have a feeling that this is going to head higher tomorrow. So probably we need to pyramid as soon as possible. Now what we can do is tomorrow, if you really want to pyramid this, you can pyramid this above 45 levels and trail your stop loss to 42, which is that low before we had this crazy master candle. Or if you want to be conservative, you can also move to around 40 levels, right? So we can move to cost as well, but I would not move it right now. I don't want to be really aggressive and move it at that point. 41 would be a little aggressive, 42. So I'm going to move this cost to cost. So basically I'm trying to reduce the cost here. So I'm going to move it cost to 41.25. So 41.25 would be somewhere around that zone, right? So once we move it there, or you can even keep it around 40.5 levels. I'll give you the right level tonight. I'm still thinking, and then we'll introduce some more risk and we'll pyramid this J&K Bank tomorrow. Okay, so that's the first pyramiding that we'll be doing tomorrow, and we already have a couple of pyramids. Now remember, we have only 23k left, so around 20% of our capital left, and we already have some GTT set, right? So we have Ambika Cotton GTT, RSL Gear GTT, and Anaras GTT. Now if you look at these GTTs, we have a decent amount. Now one of the probable GTTs that will be triggered tomorrow is Ambika Cotton, and Ambika Cotton has, I think, around a 14%, sorry, not a 14%, or around a 15% allocation. So if that gets triggered tomorrow, then I'm not going to do, I'll probably think and update you. But if that gets triggered or if this gets triggered, then we don't have money to do, much pyramiding. So in that case, we'll just deploy the remaining amount in Jammu and Kashmir Bank, and then we can keep a very generous stop loss. Okay, and also we have RSL Gear Tech around 6.7. Now, once Ambika Cotton tomorrow gets triggered, then we can also focus on smaller positions and try to sell off those and move to the stocks which are performing. Okay, we'll look at that as and when we progress. But for now, J&K Bank, definitely we need to pyramid. It is the best performing stock in our portfolio as of today. So that's going to be pyramided. Now, Rolex Ring is not really performing well. We have 14% position size, but it's just going sideways. So we'll give it some more time. We'll see what's happening there. RSL Gear Tech is forming a very nice pivot. Now, this is what I'm very interested in such setups. Now, if you look at this setup, we have above 570 is where we kept a previous trigger, but right now we changed it to 560 because I've seen multiple points. It is getting rejected at around 560 levels. So I modified the GTT to 560 and I've increased the quantity to 12. Okay, so that's one thing which I've done, and I'm going to trail my stop loss to 510 as soon as this breaks out. Okay, now this is really tight consolidation which is happening. A breakout can be wonderful and the stock can do well going forward. Okay, and that's why I'm interested in RSL gear. Ambika Cotton also is doing a similar kind of consolidation. Last 4 days, not much movement, and the pyramid is above 2200, and I kept a stop at 2030 instead of 2000 because that zone I think is a very tight consolidation zone. So 2030 is where I kept my pyramid, my stop loss, and then I'm going to add 7 stocks instead of 6. So again, note that increase. So these are the 2 updates that I've done looking at these stocks. So Jubilant Industries also is going sideways. Again, we already have a decent position size in Jubilant Industries. So we have around a 14%, 15% position size. So in this, if you want, I can pyramid, but I need to trail my stop loss first. The stop loss is right now at 445, and if I pyramid at 620, it's a little steep. So probably I'll think about it and I'll update you tonight. Next one is Blue Star. Blue Star is doing really well. So let it just move. Unless it doesn't consolidate, I'm not going to pyramid this more because we already have a good position size and there are no changes. City-Union-Bank is kind of consolidating. You see that's forming a nice base there. Now, City-Union-Bank can also be pyramided. In case you want to pyramid, you can pyramid City-Union-Bank. So we have a very small 7% position size here. Now, how do you pyramid this, right? Now, if you look at this zone here, there is some sell-off and there is some resistance. So if you go to the hourly charts, you will notice that much clearer, right? So that's the level I'm looking at. So if you want to pyramid City-Union-Bank, then you're going to increase your risk and above 172 keep a buy order. And if you see it's forming a nice base, so add more above 172 with a stop around 165 odd, right? So that could be a pyramid plan for City-Union-Bank. Okay, so again, I'll update these pyramids in case I'm planning. We can't, have pyramids for everything. We need to focus on a few setups and probably do. Now, looking at this setup, pretty deep stop loss. Probably City-Union-Bank is not, favorable for me. Ambika Cotton, RSL Gear look really good for pyramiding. So I'm going to focus on them and probably Jammu and Kashmir Bank as well. Okay, so these are 3 because the pivot zone is, very small and the stock is in an uptrend and it's consolidating an uptrend. Whereas City-Union-Bank is down, it has come down and it's consolidating in a downtrend, right? That's why I'm preferring Ambika Cotton and RSL Gear. So that's the rationale behind pyramiding these 2. So yeah, that's it. I think from the portfolio update. If you do have any questions, do let me know. But I think we are again coming back on track, and I think we'll do well going forward as well. Okay, so let's look at stock questions. What questions we have? We have less people today, 21. I think that's a low for some days. I think we've not had such low joiners. So yeah, I have some comments from Barry. So he says, so SB Jain is Barry. So yeah, I think I'll probably start doing more cryptos, but I don't really track all of them. So if you do have any cryptos, you can ask them and I can look at them and tell you if they're really good. But yeah, I'm again wishing you also a very happy and prosperous Diwali. Now for everyone, happy Dhanteras and happy Diwali as well in advance. So yeah, let's look at some of the stocks. Rupa and Rain Industries. I think Rain Industries is kind of a little weak. But I think Rupa looks good. So I was looking at the charts yesterday after decent results. So it still is going sideways. I think it is kind of consolidating around that zone. Again, a nice trendline reversal setup. You can buy above 485 and keep a stop around 450 levels. Rain Industries is kind of looking weak, but I still see a chance for it to reverse. I also have a position personally, my personal portfolio as well. So if you see, we're kind of reversing from this day, right? So again, little dicey as I say, or unless 217 is not taken out, I'll still be holding this. If 217 takes out, I'll exit and probably look at it again, after some point. So, but unless 217 holds or 215 also, you can still keep holding it. It still has every chance to move higher from here. Okay. Hey Nirag, I'm good. I hope you're doing well. Kumulagiri is asking Chemplast. Let's look at it. Yeah, Chemplast. I'm not sure if this is a red candle or green candle. Yeah, this is a red candle, right? So it is still in an uptrend. It's kind of retesting that breakout zone there. So you can take a position, keep a stop probably around 630 and test waters, or if you want to be safe, then enter above 715, 720 and keep a stop around 730. But yeah, the setup does look good. If it comes towards levels of 570, then definitely it's a buy because that's a trendline support. Okay, so that's my view. Chemplast, Indigo Remedies. Let's look at it. Indigo. Yeah. Again, it's going sideways. It's been going sideways for quite some time. Now those trend lines are invalid, so I'm just going to remove them. But otherwise, I think it's doing a rectangle consolidation setup there. It needs to break out from that zone. I think it might take some more time. Probably it might give it some time, or enter above only above 515, and then you can keep a stop around 434, or you can enter even now and keep a stop around 400 levels. Okay, but right now if you enter, your capital might be stuck for some time. Happy Dhanteras everyone. I'm wishing everyone. Dinesh, TBZ still on target? I'm not sure. Right, it's just consolidating after a good move, and it has come down a little bit today. I have no idea whether it's on target. All I know is there's a stop around 85. Keep a stop and let's see if it performs. But I think it is kind of retesting that breakout zone there. Probably might take a couple of days. I also have a position in this personally, so let's see what what's in store. But until 85 doesn't take out, 85 is not taken out, yeah, I'd still be comfortable. Clean signs from midterm perspective. I'm not sure from a midterm perspective, but let's look at the charts. Yeah, it's still in a clean uptrend. From I think it can head higher. Keep a stop loss around 1920 levels. Right, it can still head higher. Just bring a sideways consolidation. But midterm, I am not sure when it will hit stop loss, and also yeah, it does still look good. If TBZ comes lower, you can still add. 85 is a stop loss, so it's a low risk setup. You can still look at it. Atish is asking for Maruti. I think Maruti was one of the good top performers today. It has broken out. It has made new highs. It did attempt to make new highs. So I think it is looking good. It can head higher from here. It has closed very well. Volumes have been excellent since the last 4 or 5 days. The uptrend is still intact. Definitely looking good. You can go long. You can look for much higher targets. I don't have a tentative target for this month. No one can give you a tentative target month. It's very difficult. If someone is giving you, that's just a kid also can tell you a target for this month. But the uptrend is up. Nishant is asking Polkadot. I have never looked at that crypto, to be honest. But let's take a look. Polkadot USD. Okay. It's also looking good, right? It's a similar setup to like Matic. It is kind of breaking out. It can go high. These are excellent breakouts, right? Now cryptos usually when they break out, they tend to do well. It is also breaking out from the previous listing high as well. So fantastic setup. You just need to find a stop loss. The stop loss here can be as low as 39.4, 39 around. I think it's an excellent setup. Go long if it does well. Don't forget to buy me a coffee. Rajat, Thyrocare also looks very good. It is kind of been consolidating for a long time. And I have already checked this chart. If you see, there is also a trend line reversal that I'm looking at. So if you look at this chart, I'm not sure exactly from where to the trend line, but yeah, that's the trend line that I was looking at. And I think also on a linear scale, also if you look, it is kind of consolidating around that trend line, right? So that's a nice setup. So it might take us some more time before heading higher. That's why I mentioned, buy about 1200. With stop around 1100 levels. Okay, it does look very good. Axis Bank after fall. Axis Bank it's one of the weakest. Suddenly that was one of the strongest stocks that I was looking at, and short term perspective it does look like one of the weakest stocks, but the long term trend is still intact for me. It has broken down the channel, so that's why I'm saying it's very weak. But if you look at the weekly charts, it's still, if you're looking from investment perspective, then definitely I'd hold it until 700 level is taken out. Until 700 is holding, this can still head higher. Okay, but short term definitely it's negative. It has broken a parallel channel, so careful on that. And from a short term perspective, Rishi ADSL looks good. Fantastic setup. I think you can continue to hold. Stop is around 80 levels. You can keep it. Rajat, good. Blue Star does look good. If you're taking fresh entry, very good. Rajat asking another question on GPIL. Yeah, GPIL is kind of having a crazy fall. I think the stock has run up a lot, to be honest, and it has now probably broken the trend line as well. So it can go into a sideways consolidation for some time. That's why I don't prefer entering stocks which are really extended a lot. Now this stock was extended very much, and I feel that this stock can consolidate for some more time. Now this probably unless it doesn't take out the previous highs, it can continue to consolidate. But again, if you're looking to hold it, continue to hold it with a stop around 260 levels. But I feel this is going to consolidate for some time, because after a massive move and trendline break, stocks do end up going to consolidate. You can check any charts like Aarti Drugs or Laurus Labs. Go and check any charts. They might tell you what happens when trend lines break down. Okay, so it might take some time before it heads higher again. VTL, I think VTL is one of the excellent textile stocks. Vardhaman Textiles looks excellent. Again, a beautiful long-term uptrend. You can continue to hold it. It's having a nice support around 17,700. You can keep a stop around 1630 as well. You can continue to hold. It can head higher. Thanks, Vijay. Yeah, always look for strong stocks for pyramiding, right? So I would never pyramid a stock. When I have stocks like RSL and Ambika Cotton, I never pyramid a stock like City Union Bank, because the chances of my my money is being I bet my money on stocks which are performing. So a stock like CV, I'd still give it some more time, or probably move that money to some other stock. So yeah, do wait for my update tonight. I'll update it. I think a lot of stocks have done well. They're picking up again. I don't have anything on my radar yet, because I have already a list of stocks that I'm looking at. I don't really jump between stocks. Okay, so last question for the day, Starter Coffee. I think we are finishing a little early today, and that's going to give me some more time, for my personal stuff, and also for looking at a few other things. Tata Coffee does look good, I think, unless 355, 200 is not taken down. You can still keep, you can continue to hold it. Yeah, it's just going sideways, and it's frustrating, I understand, but this is just a short-term consolidation. Remember, the longer the consolidation, the bigger the moves. So give it some time, and it can do well. Okay. So yeah, I think I have taken all your questions. Don't forget to watch my next video, YouTube video. And don't forget to share these videos with your friends, guys, because we need to grow. I need to grow the channel. That's my objective. I've been providing everything for free. So if you have benefited till now, don't forget to share the crypto video with your friends. I'm sure a lot of people are looking at crypto, but they don't really understand the risk that's involved. It can drop 40-50% while you're sleeping, and that's the biggest risk for me, and that's why I've not really ventured into cryptos. But I'm definitely considering putting some money on cryptos also. But yeah, it's also depends on risk appetite. So don't forget to watch the video if you haven't, and don't forget to share with your friends. I'll leave you here. Take care and stay safe and trade safe. I'll see you again tomorrow, and take care and stay safe. Bye bye.